welcome everybody. Jean Shipman. I'm not clicker savvy here apparently. Click the right arrow. Whoop, there we go. Okay. And I'm from the University of Utah, and I'm listing all my titles here, not to solicit sympathy from you, but to give you an indication of what libraries are about today. And what I hope to share is a case study of our library. We do what you think we do. We do collect materials, and those are mostly online now. But we also work with a lot of different constituencies. And what I'm going to share is a group, the gamers and the medical device creators, the innovators. So what we were able to do was to take all of our print collection about 3 years ago and put it in a dumpster, and literally put it in a dumpster. We have videos to show that, but and we haven't fallen apart yet as a library. So, you know, I'm just now, 3 years later, having people come in and go, where are the books? You know? So people didn't really use the books, and we had a blessed time right when I started to have to repair our ceiling. So we were able to take 9 months, close the library, and really measure the use of our print collection, which was pretty slim. So what we were able to do, though, was turn it into this innovation center. And if you're in our library, it's very small. It's a health sciences library. It's about 3 floors. And the bottom floor is in the basement, or as we call it, the garden level, just to make it really attractive to people. But the garden level is now a buzz. And what's been really fun is working with all these graduate students. We're #1 in the country for entertainment, arts, and engineering, which is a video production student class. But we've taken the graduate students from that class and put them into medical therapeutic game production. So they're creating about 10 games a semester on stipends and tuition-free college to be able to create these prototypes of medical games. And they're finding the efficacy of these games to be just as equal, if not better, than a lot of medical treatment. So if you can imagine, if you can create a game in a semester versus 17 years of drug, pharma kind of development, which one do you think is more cost-effective for people to use, and also to be able to bring some revenue back to the university? So this is our new 4th source of income. We still do the research, we still do the clinical care, we still do the education, but the innovation is now the 4th wing. And I think why I wanted to really showcase this, we have the gamers, we have also medical device teams. And every year we have a competition, bench to bedside, where teams of students of interprofessional groups from business, law, healthcare, and marketing come in and work for 6 months. They get $500. They create a prototype, a real, looking device with 3D printing usually, and then they have to come up with a market plan and a business plan, and then they have the Shark Tank night at the Capitol. And everybody comes out in their best behavior. They're there. They have 10 minutes to pitch their device to a team of judges, and then they get big prizes if they're successful. And that big prize includes funding to further develop their product, as well as the backing of the university to take it to market. So it's really it's in the 7th year, and it's really gotten to be quite a great honor for the students who are winners in this. But we also have people who are coming through, as you can see. We have 10 teams of the gamers, about 35 teams of the medical device now coming in. And guess what was happening to all that knowledge that was being generated? It wasn't being gathered. And as a librarian, I sat and watched these teams, and I said, so who's contributing what? And how are you documenting your input and what your intellectual contribution has been? And these students kind of look at me like, what? But we've been able as librarians to kind of bridge that gap and be able to kind of mop up after the teams and say, you really need to be thinking about this now, because when your product or your game is really commercialized and valuable, you're going to wish that you had given yourself credit at this time. So what we've done, and that's kind of why I have knowledge management in my title now, is create a product e-channel. And E stands for electronic, or ECHLS, library, entrepreneurial, anything you want to make E. But it's this one place that all of our output from innovation, we have a whole ecosystem of innovation teams. All of their output is being channeled into this one channel. So I didn't really realize the potential of that until I was demonstrating at a Tech Tuesday event, and an industry partner came up to me. He said, "Oh my gosh, you mean I can go one place from the university and find out all the companies that have come out of this university? So I don't have to go from website to website of all the ecosystem members, but one place, one-stop shop." And I said, "That's exactly right." So there's so much information being generated at universities now that will never appear in a book or a journal. And I think that's where my delight in being a librarian is, or an information specialist, is being really in the mix of the creation of the knowledge instead of just storing it at the end of the dissemination cycle. So I want you to leave with my impression that libraries are not your mother's library. They're not probably your daughter's library, but they're going to just keep evolving and changing and being much more involved in the knowledge process. So thanks.